In this video, we're breaking down what is the best intro script and how you can master it when you are working high intent leads and age leads, and the philosophy that we have seen with helping over 550 agents in 4 years in business issue pay $40,000 per month. So stay tuned for this video. My name is Trey. I'm the owner of Agent Lead Lab. And on this channel, we try to talk about the strategies, tactics, and behaviors that you can go out and execute on. So hopefully this video helps. Let's tune in now. What are the philosophies that are best? We're going to be breaking that down in today's video, talking specifically about intros and how agents are successfully winning in sales, specifically on high intent and age leads. So let's hop right into it. Let's go high intent leads, right? Lead intro versus age lead intro. All right. So let's go high intent. All right. So now understand, before we get into, you have to understand the philosophy. Okay. Now, this is what I mean when I say philosophy. Let's see if I'm even using this word right. Philosophy. Definition. Let's check it out. A systematic, rational study of fundamental questions concerning existence, knowledge, truth, reason, mind, and values. So we need to understand the philosophy of high intent. Okay, let's break this down one by one. All right. Now, the existence. What is high intent? All right. High intent leads are leads that have typically opted in real time and or a few minutes, or sometimes even a day, sometimes still high intent. Client who's raised their hand and said they're interested in the product or service that you are offering. Okay. The knowledge, you have to know and understand where these leads come from. Very, very important. What platform are they coming from? How are they sourced? That tells you a lot about the psychology of the client. You've got traditional forms, right? Facebook, Instagram, Google, and then you've got landing pages. They're different. I have tons of videos on that, but just understand fundamentally, forms typically is what's called less friction, meaning the client has less things that he needs to go through, or less hoops, or lesser of a process. It will autofill, right? So it's less friction. High friction is more of a landing page. You have to manually type things in, right? You can create the environment around it, right? You could change the colors, you can change the wording, you have control. You take them off of the platform. It typically costs more for you to buy and or generate from a lead vendor's perspective, right? Truth. The reality is people fill out forms every single day. If you don't understand that, you will fool yourself. You will start out, if you don't understand the philosophy of a high intent lead, you will absolutely cook yourself. You will not find success, because you will think that the best way, or that you will think and have expectations that every single client you buy for a lead is supposed to sell right now. And that is the wrong way to think about it. You are not just buying high intent leads to make all your money off the first batch. You work the leads. That's the same reason why a 30, 60, or 90-day-old lead, people smack. I have people that work with me, they call my team all the time, and they're like, yo, these leads, like, bro, they're like fire now. Like, it's 30 days later, and like I'm smacking off them. I'm like, yeah, bro, because not everybody wants to buy right now. Nothing doesn't make the lead bad. What you're doing is you're paying to get the squeeze out initially, right? And then you continue to work the leads over time. That's the best way to go about it, right? To ensure that you are successful. That is exactly how you're going to do it. All right. Now, understand the next thing is going to be the reason. The reason why you buy leads, the reason why they've opted in is because they are now interested. They're seeing fresh ads. Now, the reason why this works and the philosophy of fresh leads is that you can pay to save your time. A lead is still a lead. A year-old lead is still a lead. It doesn't matter. You're paying to save your time, right? And then the values and the mind of the actual, process in and of itself is essentially just, you have to understand that you're not going to get every single person to pick up and be ready to move forward today, right? And you genuinely have to value your time. That's a high intent lead. All right. Aged leads. Let's break it down real quick. When you go aged leads, let's go through each of them again. Existence, right? You understand that these are specifically here for newer agents or people who want to make a higher ROI and don't mind ramping out their time. All right. Understand and know that most of the people you're talking to are going to say, get out of my face, leave me alone, or cuss at you. That's a part of the process. If you don't understand that, you're setting yourself up for failure, right? It just is what it is. Unfortunately, right? People try, oh yeah, I'm going to buy 100 leads and I should sell 8. You're dead wrong. Right? There's a thing that I talk about all the time. It's called the cost to acquire a client. Those numbers don't really change. You can get them down a little lower, right? If it's $200 or $300 to close a vet lead, it's still $200 or $300 to close a vet lead. The difference is that if you want to get it to like 150, 175, you are going to be straining absolutely straining. The goal is not to strain if you're trying to grow. The goal is to strain if you're brand new, to learn your skills and then reinvest. If you are 6, 8, 9, 10 months into the business and you're still just ripping age leads all day long, you are dead wrong. You'd be more profitable, right, to rip age leads all day for sure. But it is not a scalable model forever because you will burn out. I promise you. I've been doing this for 5 years. The amount of agents and agency owners that aren't even here anymore, and they were on top of the world on all the interviews and podcasts that you can imagine. They are not, they are no longer existent. Not necessarily because they ran age leads, but just in general, you have to build your business properly, right? The truth of the matter is you are only going to sell 1 to 2, maybe 3 out of 100. You should not be going in thinking you're going to sell 8 or 9. And if you are selling 8 or 9, or you're selling 5 or 6 or whatever, much higher numbers than 1 to 3, then you are more than likely just working the mess out of that one lead pack, and you are spending your whole day. And me personally, and most people don't want to dial all day long for the rest of their lives. They just don't want to do it. 12 to 14-hour days are good for the first 90 days, for the first 6 months, maybe even for a whole year. But man, come on now. If we're trying to build, let's be smart. All right. The reason why these leads exist and why fundamentally they are really good for new agents is because you get reps. You get the ability to get your teeth kicked in for a lower price. You can get a lot more out of an aged lead than you can a fresh relative if you've got hundreds of them. It's to get reps, right? And the mind and value of a person working aged lead is that I am not trading. I'm willing to trade my money for, or I'm willing to trade my time for a little bit of money. Okay. That is super important. Now, for me, you have to understand it, like without you actually understanding that before you get into dialing and figuring out how you want to scale, you're cooked. Like you're cooking yourself. There's no way outside of that you can honestly reasonably grow until you understand that basic philosophy. We ain't even talked about dialing yet. So if I'm talking to my agents, this is the first thing I'm breaking down. Do you understand what the difference is between? You never complain about lead. The only thing you ever complain about is that you are not willing to do the work that it's required to get the outcome. It's never the lead's fault. I even said in my business, I'm like, yo, I'm not willing to put the work in for that type of lead. I'd rather pay more and not have to put all that work in. That's me though. But I'm okay with understanding that. I'm also understanding that my margins might be a little smaller. If I want to and have to get busy and I want to get crazy margins, have crazy like it's like, dude, I just got to do that. But I will never complain about a lead because I've had leads that are $100. I spent $1,000 on a lead one time, and the dude didn't even pick up the phone. Right, in my own business, like we had a bad day. Theoretically, we actually had a horrible day. We got one lead for $1,000. It was basically a booked call funnel. That's what we would call a lead in my business, right? And dude didn't even show up, pick up, nothing, right? So why do I say that? Because you have to understand the philosophy, right? Like I'm not emotionally attached to it. I understand what I'm getting myself into when I buy high intense versus when I buy aged. It's really, really simple. I had a gentleman text me. I had to text him back actually. He asked me about like, should I run age leads or should I run fresh leads? I'm trying to scale, right? And what I'm going to text him back and have a conversation with him about is it's totally up to you. Do you care more about your time or more about money? Right? Because if you're just super money hungry and you want to get the highest ROI and be like, Mister, yo, I'm saving up $500 a week, or like even $1,000 a week, but you're dialing all day. It's like, cool, bro. You do whatever you want. I'm not saving $1,000 a week. Like, dude, take the $4,000 for the month. I'll take my time every day of the week. If I'm still gonna make 50 and I'm just gonna make 46 instead of 50, oh my goodness. Like it's like, bro, I don't really care. Like that's how I look at it. Right? I'm a different type of bull though. Like, so that's my mentality. And that's the conversation that I would be having. It's like, do you care more about time or about money? If you got the skills, now if you're brand new, no, do age. But if like, dude, if you know how to sell and you're crushing age leads, like, bro, buy some fresh leads and ROI. Like I tell people that all the time, but and they're like, well, I can't scale and I'm hopping from vendor to vendor. It's like, bro, because you're trying to use age lead. No company is going to help you scale off age leads unless you're just buying data. Now, if you're buying from like big agents or big lead vendors that have like tons and tons and tons of data, like, yeah, sure. I am maybe. I don't want to depend on that. I know if it's fresh, like we can talk about it. We can adjust the ad, like we could do more because we're creating it. If we're depending on the original source, like what if they changed media buyers on the front end and the age leads you were working just all of a sudden turned to crap because they were really good age leads, now they're bad age leads because the front end leads suck. But you've always worked the back end, so you don't really know what's going on the front end, so you can't optimize for the back end. If I pay for a fresh lead and I don't work it, the worst thing that happens is 30 days it turns into my own age lead. So I have a whole video that I broke down on how to actually create that infrastructure inside of your business. You buy more age leads to create age leads for yourself.
You buy age leads to start, and then when you get ahead, you pay more money to get more leads, to give the leads away to grow. It's like, dude, you're going to buy age leads for what? You have all these leads right here. Why not just work those? It never made sense to me, right? So I never understood that, and I never built a big team as an agency, but I know how to like create a business. I can run a business, and I work with agencies for the past 4 years, so I've seen everything, and like there's only been a handful that actually do that. The ones that do, they're very, very profitable. On paper, they're like, dude, they spent so much money on this. I'm just making an ROI. It's like, that's dumb to me. Just me personally, it doesn't make sense. Like, I'd rather have fresh inventory that I can save my time, and whatever I don't work, my agents will work. Like, you'd be surprised if you just gave your agents your sheet, to tell them to uncolor code it and see how well they do. I promise you, you'd turn around and they'd write 10 grand. You'd be like, oh my goodness. So basically, they didn't spend any money. They didn't have to go buy from any source. They called your old leads that maybe fell off, didn't do whatever, lost them at banking. They closed them. You made the money. They're more profitable. Now they can go buy fresh leads. Now it's like, dude, it doesn't make sense to me. But anyways, so I want to talk about the intro. Okay, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time here because really most of this video I wanted it to be on philosophy, because truthfully the intro doesn't really, it matters, but it doesn't matter. It matters more that you understand the psychology of the client to perfect the intro than it does the actual words that you say. Let me give you a perfect example. You call an age lead. Some people will be like, yo, you call age lead, you gotta say this, 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 and this. It's like, no, bro. It's your frame. It's you getting frustrated, not understanding. Hey, John. Yeah, hey, John, I'm getting back to you. You were looking into the trucker IUL programs and benefits. Now I have your date of birth here as XYZ. Is that correct, John? Yeah, that's me, and blah 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 blah. Okay, that sounds much different than me saying, "Hey, John, this is XYZ giving you a call about the benefits for the truckers IUL. How are you doing today?" It's like, I mean, okay, you know what I mean? Okay, the first one sounds way better. Why? Because you're starting off like, hey John, look, man, this is Trey. I'm giving you a quick call. Looks like you were looking into the trucker IULs not too long ago. Now, just to confirm a few quick details here, John, I have XYZ here as your date of birth. Is that correct? You can even hear in the my word track, in my tonality, the way that I'm saying the things that I'm saying is a lot different. And it doesn't matter. Like, the way I look at it now is I don't even really need a script. I really just need to know, like, what are the things that are going to prepare me for the application. Now, I'm not saying that you freestyle that, but I am going to talk about how the intro. So for like our leads, we give it. We're about to start giving like full prezzies, because what I'm going to start doing is I'm actually going to start I'm going to start getting people's entire script. I'm going to go through the script and break it down, and then attach that video. I'm going to do it here on YouTube, post as a YouTube video, and I'm also going to take that same link and send it to people when they get onboarded, so they can see how I go through scripts. Because I think I've done intros for a long time, but as we scale, there's been so many people that have just asked me, and I'm like, bro, you guys are overcomplicating this. It's less about like the exact word track, and it's more about like, how do you work through a script, because scripts are meant to be followed from a templated standpoint, and you follow frameworks. So you go like intro, right? Some people go straight from intro into who I am, take my information down. Some people go straight from intro into like, why am I calling? And it depends on who you are. A lot of times, like, I'm the type of, here's why I'm calling. So John, it looks like you were looking into this trucker IU. And just so I'm clear here, John, it doesn't sound like you ever got that taken care of. Is that correct? Yeah, no. All right, perfect. So let me kind of give you a high level on what this is, so I have a good understanding before, but and then you just roll, right? And you start telling them, hey, this is how it works, this is what it does. Because here's the reality of the situation. You can sit here and say, like, you should say this, and you should say this, and you should ask health questions, you should do this. It's like everything works, you just have to work it. And I hate that I say that, but it's the truth. That's why I just focus on the intro. Whatever you've been taught after the intro is cool. The problem with the intro is that people never get past the intro. So they're so caught up on like, yo, I need a full blown script. It's like, bro, if you just learn how to talk to people and actually call people, right? Like that's how you would be successful. Like, it's not, there's no rocket science to it. Because at the end of the day, all you're doing is calling people about something they filled out, whether it was brand new or a few months ago. If it's a few months ago, you have to assume that they're going to be like, I already got it taken care of. So you have to know in your mind, like, all right, cool. So like, this just stumbled across my desk here. I'm just trying to get some clarity here, John. Now, when you say that you got it taken care of, did you already get a policy put in place? And they're like, yeah. It's like, okay, cool. Well, my job's really simple. That's probably why they gave me your information, is just to go through a quick policy review to make sure that you have the most affordable plan in place. Who did you end up getting that policy with? They're like, oh, and they tell you, and then you just roll, right? But then, like, some people were like, oh my goodness, they said I already got taken care of. So you just get like flustered, and it doesn't make any sense. It's like, bro, you're calling age leads. Like, You should know in your mind already. You're just fishing for 1 to 2 yeses. So when I hear no all day, I just know no stands for next opportunity. I'm ready for the next play. I'm good. Now on fresh leads, people think that you're going to call a fresh lead and you're just going to be like, hey, John, I'm giving you a quick call. It looks like you were looking into the trucker IUL program here. You listed that your main goal was blah, 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 blah. Is that correct? Perfect. And then if they're like, nah, somebody called me. I already got it taken care of. John, hey, no worries, man. Looks like I got this not too long ago. Just to confirm here, I have XYZ and XYZ. Is that still correct? You just go back to it. But people get so like, oh my goodness, he hung up on me. It's like, bro, they probably filled out a lot of forms because that's what happens. I call life insurance agents every day. Every day I call a life insurance agent. Yeah, I've been filling out a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to figure out what the best lead vendor for me is. It's like, bro, you're just as bad as the other people. You're talking about you're mad that leads do that. You do the same thing because it's not about the lead. It's about the philosophy and the psychology of the clients that you're dealing with. When you pay for age stuff, they've already looked. There's no, like, it's not rocket science. They're like, oh my goodness, they're shopping around. They said they talked to 5 people. Yes. When you go find a car, do you just go to the one dealership? Most of the time, no. Do you go there and buy instantly? No. It's like the problem is you don't understand. You're asking for look, hey, I'm trying to find out what the best car is. What's the best this? I'm trying to get married. I'm trying to find a girlfriend. Oh, the first girl I see, I'm dating. No, bro, I'm filling out bad apps. Yo, this girl, cool. She look good. Boom. Boom. Okay, she looks straight. Boom. My mind about it is different. I view it differently because in my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm not going to just put out one app. I'm going to put out a ton of apps and figure out what the best option for me is. So you're getting upset that they're doing the same thing that every human being does. Now you're mad because you're like, they said they filled out. Yes, they did. They did talk to somebody. So what? So what? In 30 days, you're going to give that same lead to somebody else because they probably are still shopping because nobody got over that objection. So you're upset that they told you that because you expect every single person to be a laydown. It's not going to happen. You're going to have 2 people that are like, yeah, I'm good. You're going to have that middle ground, which is like another 2 to 3 who are like, on the fence. You kind of got to get over rejection. You're going to have the rest of them that don't matter what you say. The goal is to win the people in the middle. The 2 are the laydowns. The other 5 or 4 or 3 or whatever, you're never going to win them. Don't matter what you say. They're not buying. At least not from you. So the more you understand that, the better that you are. I hear all the time, like, bro, I'm trying to be rude, you're just not good. And you don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. First of all, before we even get into your skills, you don't psychologically get it. You get upset. See, when I learned how to sell life insurance, they told me to pull out my credit card and pay $800 for age leads. Or what I thought, I didn't even know what the difference between an age and a fresh was. They were like, yo, $800. I was like, swipe. Let's do it. I'm getting my teeth kicked in. People telling me whatever. I'm not complaining. I'm just like, yo, it is what it is. I hear other people dialing leads where there's no really issues. They're ripping in the morning, done by midday, chilling. I didn't have the money. I can't be upset that I can't do that yet. I got to work these leads and be what I was not willing to do the things I had to do to get the most out of those leads. So my question is, am I willing to do those things? Yes or no? It's never about the lead. It's, am I willing to do the things to get past whatever barrier is there to actually be able to succeed? If you can do that, you'll be better off. If you keep complaining and whining and oh my goodness, you're gonna get what you want out of life in general. Definitely not in this game, because this game is built for dogs, people that are willing to put the work in every single day. You got to show up every single day, no matter what's going on. Monday, you got to show up. Tuesday, you got to show up. Wednesday, you got to show up. Thursday, you got to show up. Friday, you got to show up. You got to show up every day. So if you can do that consistently, learn to get your teeth kicked in and just get back on the pavement. Let's just keep doing it. And I'm going to finish with this. This video, there's no secret sauce to an intro. People are like, yeah, it's a secret sauce. It's like, yeah, dude, I have people that I give the script to with exactly what's on the ad and they don't use it and they crush. And I got people that use the intro to a T and they suck. What is the difference? It's the person. Like all this stuff is just frameworks, but like at the end of the day, it comes down to something super simple. If you don't know the philosophy and the psychology, first of all, you don't know the philosophy of the lead, and you don't know the psychology of the client. right? Like you don't actually get where they're at and like what is expected from not only like them, but the demographics, etc. You will be more frustrated with the sales process than you've ever been. But here's the beautiful thing. If you do, you will never really get too overwhelmed. You'll just understand that it's a part of the process and that it's on you to fix it. You're the only person that can change it. And if you're not willing to change it, it doesn't make a difference. It really doesn't. And unfortunately, that's the reality of where we're at right now. The intro is going to be the intro. You got to say this, got to say this. This will be a little bit better. Obviously, don't say something crazy, right? Don't call them and say out the blue, oh, he said it was just a philosophy. Like, don't be that person. But what I will say is if you just have the right tonality, you have the right confidence, and you know what the client did, you'll be better. Because 90% of the time, if I just get, like, if I went to my wife and was like, yo, I just need you to call this person, they filled this out, and this is what they saw. And I was like, don't let them tell you anything outside of the reality. Like, whatever they say, your job is just to get them to be like, you definitely filled this out. And then after that, give me the phone. Hey, John, yeah, so it looks like you watched this YouTube video on this trade guy, and then I guess you put your information at the bottom. I don't know. They told me to give you a call. It looks like, I don't know, you were looking on how to get more leads into your business. Does that ring a bell? And you would probably naturally say that because you'd actually be confused. You'd be like, they told me to call you. I'm gonna just call you. I guess you filled this out. I see your name here. What exactly do you see? Oh yeah, so you you filled this out. You put this, and they said that you were looking for this. Is that right? Like, yeah, it's like, oh my goodness. Like, you got to take away all the robotics once you get the tools from the companies that you're working with, right? I broke down what you should be looking for in vendors. I have a few videos on that in terms of like, what are the actual key things that you should be identifying when you're trying to find the lead company for yourself or for your agency, right? And one of those things is that they're extremely transparent. It can actually show you what they're doing, because if they can't do that, then you can't actually have the proper expectations. And if you can't have proper expectations for the lead, if they change the lead or the formatting of what's going on and your expectations don't align, you're cooking yourself, right? So hopefully this video helps. I'm gonna wrap up there. As always, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time. If you want leads, go to Lead Lab CRM. If you want to potentially work with us, go to agentleadlab.com. I'll see you guys next time. Bless.